Welcome to the Gear Slum, your one-stop shop for all things guitar culture nonsense. I'm Aaron.
I'm Phil.
And I'm Cole.
We slum it hard, so you don't have to.
Okay, do you guys want to hear a story?
Absolutely.
Of course.
Absolutely, I do.
That's what I came for.
Okay, so this guy that I work with, I've talked about him before. He's
Chet.
He's a great guy. He works on my team, and he plays guitar in our work band. And he's very
What's the work band
he's
name
very
again?
childlike. 2L and back because we're on the floor. 2L,
I knew there was an L. I couldn't remember.
which is great.
Yeah, I knew it was
And,
work location related.
Yeah,
That's all I
L for
remember.
hell. Yeah.
I get it.
You should
and,
call it 2 Ellen DeGeneres.
And he's the type of guitarist who like actually to Ellen DeGeneres.
Thanks for everything,
Thanks
Julie
for-
Newmar.
Crap, thanks for that's what I was trying to why I was gonna say so long and thanks for all the fish, and I'm like, man, I'm mixing up way too many things in my brain here. So he's totally
Wong
the
Fu.
type. So like his main guitar is this Ibanez. It's one of those. I don't know if it's one of the art cores, but it looks like a 335 kind of thing. you
Yeah,
know?
I'm sure it is an art core.
And it's pretty nice, just like a dual.
Is it like
humbucker,
that kind of like
hollow body type thing?
it's like just like a finished wood, like kind of oiled wood thing? Or
No,
is it
it's like a shine.
painted?
It's a glossy. It's glossy. It's not painted though. It's like a burst. Like it's a pretty nice one.
Oh,
it was
nice.
it was like $1,000 new, I think.
Oh, sweet.
And he plays through a Mustang 3, like one of the old school Fender, modeling
Mhm.
amps or whatever. But he loves playing, and like he's the type of guitarist that probably most guitarists are, where they just have some gear and they like to play guitar. They don't obsess over it like we do, But he'll
play.
kind of
They
run
don't
across
obsess
some-
over. Yeah.
the gear. So he'll run across
Yes.
some stuff once in a while, and he's like pretty naive about gear and stuff. So he sent me a message the other day.
Like
and
he
it's
gives
just like,
it,
hey,
he gives
I
out
got
his social security number to the gear and stuff over the phone.
yeah, he's like, yeah, they said this guitar that I wanted to buy. The guitar said it was going to send me a cashier's check and then have a shipper pick up my car from me.
Oh, I'm guessing he has this Ibanez John Schofield JSM 10.
Could be. It's like a honey burst type. It's like a pretty
Yeah.
light burst.
I'll
I mean, he's
send
had
you a
it
picture.
forever, so it's
Keep
not
talking.
like a current model.
Oh, it's not. No, never mind.
Okay, so he's had it for like 10 or 15 years or something.
Aaron, just let him tell the story.
I'm obsessing about the gear.
And okay, that actually is very similar to what it is. It's probably a little bit bigger though. It's like a really fat, wide body,
Oh, yeah. Now you're
Um,
talking.
So it's kind of got a fat bottom bout, bottom bout is bottomed out. So-
Hey, what's this bottom about?
So he sent me this message. He was like, "Hey, I have this vintage guitar question for you. I got this guitar and something's not working on it." It ended up just being like the switches are dirty, But
Yeah.
so he's like, "You should call me." And we like video chat a bunch because he's on my team, and we have to chat a bunch. So at the end of that day, he's like, "Hey, if you still want to see that guitar," I was like, "Oh yeah," and I wasn't thinking much of it. He holds it up. It's a freaking 1965 Duosonic.
Mhm.
Bruh.
White with a tortoiseshell pickguard, and it is in mint condition. So the guy, his
Mint
brother-in-law
condish.
bought it mint condition. His brother-in-law bought it in 1965, brand new.
Dude.
I think he still has the receipt somewhere. He didn't have it with him, but he played it for a couple years, or like had it for a couple years, and then it's been sitting in the case since probably 1969. It
That's
still
wild.
has the strings, like the strings are from the 60s on this guitar. It is like completely
That's
untouched.
50-year-old strings.
Who
and
was
it
telling us
looks-
that they like old strings?
Oh man, I don't know, but that's like a
I think
that's like a
Andy,
bass
maybe?
thing.
it's somebody that we know was like, no, I really like old guitar
Maybe
strings.
so.
Like
Yeah,
really
because I
like-
think
Kim.
like once they kind of die a little bit, some people prefer that sound. It's like having flat wounds, kind of.
somebody should, whoever it is, you should tell your
you
buddy to sell the
should buy these
strings.
strings. But it's so cool. It's like totally original, perfect shape. Everything is like, and he still has the case, and the case is in perfect shape, you know, inside and out. And yeah, I was like, so it was funny because going into it, I was like, what dumb thing is he going to show me, you know, because I'm a jerk like that. And then he shows me this freaking amazing vintage Fender that probably, like, on Reverb, I bet if it was like well used, he could get $2,000 for it. But I bet in that good a shape, there might be some, you know, some collectors or something that would pay.
Yeah.
The
that would
first
pay a
thing I'm
decent
thinking is
amount for
that
it.
shop that we were at in Seattle.
Yeah, Mike and Mike.
Yeah, yeah,
Yes.
totally. So,
That's
anyways,
the kind of thing that.
but I
they-
don't even think so. The whole reason his brother-in-law gave it to him is because it wasn't working, and he was hoping he could get it working so that he could give it to his grandson who wants to start learning how to play guitar.
Dude.
And I was like, do not like a 12-year-old grandson.
Oh no!
That's
no,
awesome.
No,
No,
Oh,
that's
my
good.
Which
You
is like,
should.
and I told him, I was like, okay, you absolutely should do that. That is the right thing to do with this guitar, because like I was like, I feel like the dad on the Lego Movie for saying this, you know, like that child should not touch this guitar. Like, this is a collector's item. It's not, and granted, like Duosonic 2s in the mid 60s, like there's quite a few of them out there. I mean, that's one of the more common vintage Fenders you'll see. So it's not like it's an insane, like, it's not like it's worth $100,000 or something like that. But still, there's part of me that's like, you know, also you're probably like, if you went and bought a freaking classic Vibe Squire, it'd probably be a more functional guitar, you know,
Yeah, exactly.
like it'd probably
That's
have
why-
like better action and better playability and all that. But yeah, can you imagine if,
Dude, there's a
You got-
63 on Reverb, and it's listed at 3,800.
oh really?
I don't- I
Which
wonder
one
if-
is it? Is it, what color is it?
It's white with like looks like it's got like it looks like it maybe like a brownish aluminum pick guard.
See, this part of what's cool about this one is like, you know, he's never changed a single thing on it from the store.
Yeah,
You know?
no, that's awesome.
Like the ones
There
I've
might be-
seen have like different pickups or
Right.
the pickup covers. A bunch that I've seen, the
Yeah,
pickup
they're, like,
covers are like
restored.
broken. I wonder if the plastic was like brittle or something, and it would
Oh, I
wear
bet
out
it was.
easily.
Yeah, the
Um,
freaking plastic in the '60s like
Yeah.
does
Fake
not
light
age
or
well.
something.
Yeah, but it's like, yeah, it's
but-
amazing.
There might be like a huge difference between the 63 and the 66. You know, or wait, 65.
Well,
did you say?
yeah. So like there was the Duosonic, and then there was the Duosonic 2, and I think they're fairly similar, but I think the production numbers went up quite a bit
Mm.
in like 64 and 65. You know,
Okay, right.
Oh,
at
it's
any
not
rate.
pre-CBS though.
exactly, which that 63 could be like it.
Yeah, because
It's
they bought
like
it in
right on
65.
the line.
I just
Yeah.
looked it up because I wasn't sure, but
But it's still like a nitro finish. I think you can, like, he was showing me up close, like some of the checking and the finish. And, but I don't know. Poly, like back then, is different than it was now. So I don't really know
That's
how
really
to tell
cool.
that stuff. But
still, it's like
it's
even
such a cool guitar.
even if it wasn't like a cool guitar, just the fact that it's old and has like never
Oh,
been
totally.
used hardly.
Yeah, the
makes it
time,
cool.
Yeah,
the
like-
time capsule element of the whole.
Yeah, even if like the
situation.
Yeah.
Duosonic
Pretty awesome.
wasn't the model you want, the fact that it's so pristine, like there's only so many of those. That's the thing. Like there's only, there's a finite number of those in the world,
Mhm.
especially that are in that good a shape. So
Yes,
pretty cool.
untouched.
I told him to send me some
Uncut
pictures, and
gems.
he never did.
What an idiot!
It was funny though,
Dude,
because
maybe you're naive and he's trying to scam you. He's like, this guy I
No,
work
he
with
was
is
like-
so naive.
because his brother-in-law
That's-
his brother-in-law gave it to him, and he did a little bit of research before he talked to me, and then when his brother-in-law reached out to him, he told him like, hey, I looked it up, it looks like it could be worth quite a bit. He's like, this one that I found, it looks like it could be in like the $2,000 range. And his brother-in-law was like, oh, I was hoping you'd say more like 20,000. And I was
Oh.
like, geez, he's getting like,
Wow.
he's getting kind of greedy.
He's like, I got this guitar I never played. I want to give it to my
Yeah, I want to
12-year-old
give it to my
grandson.
grandson, but I hope it's worth $20,000. So like,
Oh, I was hoping it'd be worth 20 grand. Like, make up
Jeez.
your mind.
Yeah. So
Unless
anyway,
maybe
so
he
that's
wants
my
to give his
first.
grandson a 20 grand guitar.
That's my first story about this guy. My second story about this guy. I may have talked about this before, but he's super into model trains. He has been since he was a kid, and still does model trains like crazy. And one of the malls here that's like at 50% capacity, meaning like half the stores have gone out of business. So it's just like kind of a, it's like a graveyard in there.
Not
They
like
had
COVID capacity.
He's like a member of this like train society or whatever, and they told him, hey, you should take one of the stores here and set up a bunch of train. So it's kind of like half museum and half just like them setting up their I can't remember what do they call them, their layouts. Setting up their layout, and like, because they'll build like all the little trees and build the mountains and paint them and everything.
Oh yeah.
But he keeps talking about running train. He's like, yeah, I'm going down to the mall to run trains this weekend. I was running train all weekend, and like, oh, the kids loved it. I was just running train like crazy at the mall. And like, and this is like in our morning meeting with our whole team, where we're just kind of BSing for a few minutes. And holy crap, I know there's like one or two other people on my team who are trying not to laugh, and everyone else would just like not get it at all what we're laughing about. It's just, oh yeah. Did anyone do
Really
anything
draws
fun
a
this
crowd.
weekend? Like, oh yeah, I was down running train at the mall all weekend. So
Is his store called Hey Soul Sister?
uh,
'Cause that'd
No,
be good.
it's soy latte, the best soy latte that you've ever had.
so those are my
It's like rain. Isn't it ironic?
No,
when it
What?
rains on your wedding
No.
day.
no, that has nothing to do.
Maybe
with
if your
trains.
wedding,
I'm just kidding.
maybe if the wedding was like based on like an anti-rain theme, then maybe that would be ironic.
Dude, remember in Big Little Lies when she like wrecks his train set or whatever?
Dude,
He's
yeah,
got like the train room.
that was a great scene.
He's like, "What are you doing? I'm just trying to run some train."
I'm just running train, and like, yeah, that's the problem. Running train with our housekeeper. I mean, you can't run train with one person, but you know what I'm saying.
The au pair.
Yeah, the au pair. And she's like,
my
"Oh,
gosh.
pair." So that's my story. Pair means father in
Oh, para what?
wasn't she like young too? I mean, probably if it was an au pair. Man, that show was good. I want to go back and watch that again. So guess
Yeah,
what
that was
else?
pretty good.
I got a piece of gear. It hasn't come yet, but I ordered it. And I think it
Ooh.
is since I think it was since the last time
I think
we
it was
recorded.
yes, because you
It
said
was like the next day. Oh yeah. Because I
because
was
you were
like,
saying, yeah, I don't like to buy gear anymore, and then it was
and then
like
I bought it
within
less than
24 hours.
24 hours later.
Yeah.
That's right.
So
Okay,
line
tell,
6.
Tell the viewer.
I've been very curious about the Pod Go for a while. My brother Clint, friend of the show, patron,
Patron saint.
yes, the patron saint of the show. He has one. And for those of you that aren't familiar, the Line 6 made the Helix. That was the original, right? The $1,500 big old behemoth, like supercomputer type thing for all your effects. Then they made an HX Stomp, which is like a little version. Well, they had the HX Effects, which they've made a bunch of different Helix type things. But then they made the Pod Go, which is a much smaller than the Helix.
And the LT, right? Was that the one?
Oh yeah, the LT was like the same size as the normal Helix, but it didn't have some of the features on it, and it was quite a bit cheaper. So this one is it has 8-foot switches where the normal Helix has like 12, I think. But it does have the normal treadle. Don't treat on me.
Trodle.
I genuinely can't. I don't remember even now what the correct pronunciation is.
I think it's treadle.
treadle. Okay.
It's
That makes sense.
pronunciation.
Yeah, I don't know what the correct
I'm pretty sure I said
pronunciation is.
treadle and I got rocked for it.
I said treadle because still in my mind I think that's what it's called. But it's only like $479 right now. It's $450 when it came out. So they just came out with a new version of the Pod Go, and everyone had been saying this about the Helix from day one, that they should build a Helix because Line 6 has a wireless unit that's like pretty popular. It's just like a Wi-Fi, like 2.4 gigahertz type wireless. Their first one they came out with is only like It's like $150 or something like that. And everyone was saying you already have the transmitter. You should just build a wireless receiver into the Helix, and then you're good to go. Well, that's what they did with this Pod Go. So it's just called the Pod Go Wireless, and it's got
Oh, I don't know why in my mind I was thinking you got the HX Stomp XL, but you already have the Stomp, so that would have made sense.
Yeah, the HX Stomp XL is a very weird. I mean, it's just an HX Stomp with 2 extra buttons.
Is it just 2 extra buttons?
I'm pretty sure it is. Yeah.
I couldn't remember how many were on the Stomp. Stomp original.
The Stomp has 6 buttons on it.
No, it has
so
3.
maybe it's because it has like a one below the screen. Oh, the Stomp
only has 3. Yeah.
Oh, you're right, because it's just one row. Yeah, the Stomp XL has a bunch more buttons.
So it has like 4 extra buttons.
But the Stomp, okay, so here's it's a weird. So the Stomp XL, so the big concession with the Pod Go is your effects chain is kind of locked in.
Oh, like the blocks are kind of locked. Yeah.
The blocks, like you get one compression block and one distortion block and one modulation block and one whatever else. But it uses all the same DSP as the Helix. So as far as like the actual, models and everything are all the same as the Helix. So I guess that's a selling point of the Pod XL or the Stomp XL. But the Stomp XL is $750 in that wireless Pod Go that I got, which again includes a treatle. It's a treat for you and me. Is $579, $580. So it's like almost $200 less than the Stomp XL.
Yeah.
And has the same number of fit switches or probably more.
Has the same amount.
The Pod Go Wireless has 4, 5, 6,
they both
7,
have 8.
Oh yeah, they're like very different layout and function. Well, maybe the function's similar actually.
Yeah, I don't know if all of the.
Yeah, they have A, B, C,
so
D,
there's
up, down, and mode and tap. Yeah, so the buttons are
really
actually
only
basically
4,
the same, except there's a
effect buttons, effect on and off buttons.
Yeah, but depending on the mode you choose, you can use them all for effects, I think. Like there's different switch modes. There's like a dedicated tap button that if you hold it down, it becomes a tuner. I mean, it's really cool. And the form factor of it, I love the size of it. It's like, it feels like it's just the right size. The Helix is enormous. If you've ever seen one or played with one.
Yeah, I've seen one.
This is basically, it's like 13 inches wide by 9 inches deep. I mean, it's like not that much bigger than like a folder or something, like a 3-ring binder or something.
Yeah, it's like definitely like regular backpack size.
Exactly. So that's what I was looking at cases for it, and then I was like, oh wait, remember that backpack, that mono backpack that Phil sold me that looked like it had been used to smuggle drugs across the border because it was so freaking beat to heck. Like it fits perfectly in that based on the dimensions online. So I'm just gonna throw it in there. So yeah, it's like laptops. It's like the size of a 15-inch laptop or something, basically,
Yeah. Have they is this the same wireless system that they had before?
Yeah, so it's the same transmitter. So they've had a couple different. So mine is the G10, which is the very original one. Mm-hmm. Then they had a G10T, which the receiver is a lot better. The G10 that I have it's USB powered, which is kind of annoying if you want to put it on a pedal board. The G10T, they kind of changed it to, it took like normal pedal power, and the transmitter fit in it kind of sideways so it wouldn't stand up tall when you put it in there. And then the G10T2 is the newest one, or maybe they just put out a new transmitter, but that's the transmitter that comes with this one.
Oh, that's cool.
So yeah. And then, I mean, this is kind of a nice thing. It also, like, it has an input that you can just plug your guitar into as well. So
oh, right.
If
so
your wireless died or if you just didn't want to use the wireless, yeah, you could just plug right into it. And then it has, an effects loop. It has has stereo out that are balanced outs, which is nice. Has headphones, all the.
Dude, you could do 4 cable method.
dude, I bought 4 cables in anticipation of this because I didn't have 4 cables, and now I do.
Oh, really?
I'm gonna run so many.
I have so many cables.
Just kidding.
I was like,
Yeah.
I was surprised that you didn't have 4 cables. That was the part I was shocked about.
I know.
It's like, how do you
Like,
not
wait
have
a
4
second, we're
cables?
sponsored by a cable company. So that's my guitar gear update. I'm pretty excited about it. There's no apparently Line 6 told him it'd be like another week or 2. Apparently. And he said they're always very, I don't know, safe with their estimates, so we'll see. But
Did you
then
get it
like
from
right after that
Zounds?
came out. No, I got it from Sweetwater.
Oh,
Mark, dude. And then I got a call from Fort Wayne, Indiana, like a couple hours later, and I was like, I know who this is. This is my boy Mark, my sales engineer.
Mark Wayne, Indiana.
I think we should talk about
Pop music.
our what are our guitars?
Oh, mine's the same.
Mustangs.
Mustang.
Mustangs.
Mine's the same. Nothing has
Uh,
happened to it. I'm done. Next.
Well, okay. Well, I will say this.
All right.
What's your
Mine-
excuse, Aaron?
I don't have one.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Phil.
Okay.
Sorry.
Okay.
I'm sorry.
No, that's okay. No, that's okay. I
How's yours
don't
doing, Colt? Have you
have new.
fixed
I don't have new information, but what I do have is in less than 5 days from now, I will be on Easter break, the break of our
Ooh.
Lord.
Spring break for the heathens out there.
Yeah. For those of you who don't know, this break is not about debauchery.
Wait, is your Easter break like actually around Easter?
It's about rebauchery. Is rebauchery a thing? There's debauchery.
It's just botchery.
Actually, you know what? This break is about paying for it's the price. It's paying for the price of all of your debauchery. That's what it is. That's the most
Of all your botchery.
all the botcheries. The D's, the pre's.
debauchery is like
Pre-botchery?
the son,
Dude.
the son of
Pre-botchery.
botchery.
Pre-botchery.
The debauchery, the pre-botchery, and the rebauchery.
The post-botchery is the... That's where the real shame comes in, is the post-botchery.
And then the
Or
botchery of
maybe
shame.
botchery
No,
is
are you
good.
frozen?
Because
Dude,
debauchery
remember when
is
Botchery
bad.
was on American Idol? I think it was great. Chris Botchery.
Botchery is fine.
I was like, his name was Sanjaya, first of all.
Chris Botchery.
Sanjaya was the personification of debauchery.
Dude, remember when that was like early, well, maybe not early days of internet trolling, but that was like a very widespread, like mainstream troll that
Oh,
took
yeah.
hold. How everyone was voting for Sanjaya, even though he was terrible. Like that was a pretty great time.
Remember, he used to he had like long
Especially
hair
because you
and
had
he,
to pay to vote, didn't you? Didn't you have to like pay, or maybe you just had to have a text
Uh,
plan or something? But
Yeah, I don't think he had to pay because I think you could call or text.
oh yeah, I think I might have voted for Sanjaya once or twice.
So good. He was so bad.
He was, but he was like good enough to get through the first round. So he wasn't
Yeah,
like as
yeah,
bad
yeah.
as the people. He wasn't as bad as the people in like the tryout rounds or whatever,
Yeah, he
where they're
wasn't
just
like
a joke. But like,
bad. He was just so hard to watch. He was like awful.
yeah.
Was that okay? You guys are talking about the guy that Howard Stern literally started telling his listeners, "Hey, everybody, vote for this guy so he can
Yeah,
go really
yeah.
far."
Yeah,
We're talking about Sanjaya,
Sanjaya.
Phil. He has a name. Say his name.
yeah. His name's not that guy that Howard Stern told his listeners to vote for him so he could go
Stern.
really far.
How old are you?
Pretty old, but not as old as Aaron thinks.
Do you often say on Stern?
On
Is that a big part of your
on
vocabulary?
Stern.
Oh man, remember on Stern the other day?
And if you're really old, when you say on Stern, that means like on the back of the boat.
Did you guys see that?
Now it's just like
Yeah.
it's like on.
Did you guys see
God,
that
but
TikTok?
it's at Howard Stern. If you worship Howard Stern, you would
Yeah,
say,
on Stern.
man, that's on Stern.
On Stern. No cap.
No cap.
What
That's-
TikTok,
Okay.
Phil?
Deadass. Did you guys see that TikTok? Our algorithms are synced up just like ladies
Yeah.
living in a house together.
Yeah.
Our TikTok
Compatible on our
algorithms are synced up pretty
Do you guys
closely.
get a lot of like are you guys on food TikTok?
No.
Heck
I
yeah,
think
dude.
I probably get way more dog TikToks than you guys do because that's like 90% of my feed is
Yeah, I don't
dogs.
get any.
Oh, maybe we're not as synced as I thought.
I
But
get,
we get a lot of the
this
same.
woman-
chefs, like people teaching you how to cook stuff.
No.
this woman says I get all those. Yes, this woman says
I get the lady that reviews the charcuterie boards though, and she's really
Oh,
great.
no.
That has like a fake African accent. She's just like from the United
Charcuterie?
States, you know, but she has this
That's
great fake like Nigerian accent kind of.
I get this
You know,
guy who like makes little figurines out of clay.
Ooh, weird.
Clay
Dude,
sculptures.
remember that guy who would just like build houses out of dirt?
Oh yeah.
Would,
Yeah.
like, put moats around them and stuff. That
Yeah.
guy was
Yes.
the
He would just like dig into the ground.
best. yeah,
That's my
with that,
favorite.
with like a bamboo shovel, basically.
Yeah, he had like he would machete down the bamboo to make
Yeah.
a flat place of ground.
like a
Oh,
post
so
hole
good.
digger, essentially.
And he would
Yes.
like climb up and like direct rainfall
Yeah,
like-
dude.
1,000 yards or something to fill the pool.
Man.
What is the story? I want to know what is the story of that guy.
I don't
And
know.
those
'Cause, like, there's
videos.
no way
The videos are like well
they're like
edited,
so well
but
produced.
they look like they're in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah, like
Yes,
I don't know, and he obviously has these skills that like aren't really applicable
I
in
think he's like
the first
Cambodian or
world.
something.
like they look like very.
right.
I know this probably isn't like a politically correct way of saying it, but they're very first world videos of somebody with skills that seem like they don't really apply in the first world that much, you know. Like, because those are
Of
not
a
like
third
proper
world
living.
situation.
Those are not like proper living spaces.
except
like,
we don't say third
long-term, I
world
can't
and
think.
first world.
I know. I didn't say third world. I said first world.
Dude, I was right.
We
He
don't
is
say first world.
Cambodian.
I mean, I do. I just did a bunch of times.
No, we don't, Cole. We don't.
You know what I'm saying?
The first
Like,
world
it,
is the ego. The second
'cause-
world is the
Because they're not
super ego.
they're not like long term livable. I don't think, unless he like treats the sand somehow. So,
You just
most
press
of
it
them-
down, dude. You step on it a lot.
maybe it's just a novelty. Like maybe it's just like it's like glorified sandcastles or something.
And I think you
But
sell
Cole,
them.
the last one I saw was underground
Dude,
swimming
I know.
pool mansion.
I know, dude. It's crazy. I know, but that's what I'm saying is like it doesn't.
How do you
like, who are
drive?
they-
How do you build a mansion that isn't
yeah, but like,
long
are they
term
selling
livable?
this to somebody who's like simultaneously rich and poor? Like it doesn't make
Technically,
sense.
he's not building anything.
Oh, he's just reconfiguring it.
His work is
He,
subtractive.
no, he
He's a sand
Yeah.
luthier. He's a sand luthier.
The sand already
no,
is a perfect.
He
home.
builds the sub
And
things he
he's just
builds.
He's taking away the parts that aren't a home,
Yeah,
a mansion
exactly.
Yes,
with an indoor pool.
He's like Michelangelo with like a
Yes.
hunk of marble.
Yeah,
The statue's already in there.
I just
he's
saw
just,
that.
he's just
That
revealing it to
SNL,
us.
Yeah,
the
he's trying to let
SNL
it out.
sketch where they unveil the Michelangelo, and he's like, "And this is my model that I used, and every detail is accurate down to the last, piece." And they unveil it, and he's like, "Why did you have to make it so small?" He's like, You couldn't have exaggerated a little bit. He's like, I thought I did. And this old lady's like, it doesn't even hang past the balls.
Gun Street Wiring Shop represents a brand new approach to the guitar wiring market. From their nothing is impossible philosophy to their community first attitude, Gun Street Wiring Shop is the premier maker of guitar wiring harnesses. Based in Central Oregon, Gun Street only does one thing: make your guitar sound and play better. Bored with your standard switching? Gun Street. Need more options? Gun Street. Looking to nail that classic tone? Gun Street. You want to try something that's never been done before? Gun Street. Sean's always coming up with new circuit designs. He's always down to make something special to fit your exact needs. So hit him up now, gunstreetwiringshop.com. Turn your SG into an OMG, your Les Paul into a More Paul, your Telecaster into a Telestar Blaster. And as always, members of the Street Crew get an extra discount at everything at gunstreetwiringshop.com.
Yes.
I don't even remember what I was trying to say to you guys. Oh, I do.
It was
I
about a
remember.
TikTok.
Okay, quiet. This lady
We'll let you
goes,
get through.
yes. This lady goes, okay, here's the TikTok. She goes, ladies, if you start dating a guy and he says, I'm really into podcasts, and you say, oh, which ones? And he says, Joe Rogan, just
Yeah.
run.
Exactly.
And I thought at first it took me a second to get what she was saying, but
Why did it
she's
take you a second?
well, because I didn't realize I believe in my mind that Joe Rogan is kind of douchey, but I didn't
Yeah.
realize that like that was
Anyone
like
else was as smart as you.
no, just that like he's got like the biggest podcast,
Yeah.
right? Like he's got the biggest
Yeah.
audience.
I
But
don't
it's
think
like
he has
all
the
pseudo
biggest
intellectual
podcast.
bros.
Yeah, but it's like it's all just a bunch of dude bros. Like
There are that many dude bros?
Yeah. Like
There's
why
a
are
lot
you?
of them.
I don't get.
I like
Like you're saying you didn't know that other people knew that Rogan was a douche. That's like his whole persona.
no that he
Like he-
is, but then it translates to anyone who
Like, who
listens.
would
Well,
listen
it's not
to
just
him if
listens,
they-
I guess. It's not
That's like
anyone
saying,
who
I
listens.
knew-
It's anyone who says
I knew Limbaugh was a Republican, but I didn't
Says
know
other
Republicans
people.
listened to him. Say that again.
no, it's not the same. I said it's not the same.
But if that's like
But
the
Gets-
first
here's what it
podcasts
podcast,
is.
get 190 million downloads a month.
that's crazy.
I want
not-
you to know that I listen to him is a massive statement.
Yeah.
Right? When you're
No,
like
or just like that's the first
so like
thing.
there's probably tons of people who listen.
yeah,
yes,
obviously.
exactly.
Just
and
like,
then
just
like,
like
oh, you
there's
listen to
people who
podcasts? Which
listen
ones?
to
Joe Rogan.
yeah. He's if you mention that as the first podcast you listen to and you say you're a fan of podcasts, that's like saying like, yeah, I'm kind of a cinephile. My favorite movie is Justice League. Like right?
It's like I'm really.
Are you
into,
guys
like,
both
I'm
roboting
really-
right now?
Well-
No, I'm just listening to you.
okay.
No.
I think
Okay.
I think you are.
Okay, wait a
Phil.
minute.
Yeah.
It says something very like if somebody said, dude, I'm really into movies, like more than most people, and you go, oh,
Yeah.
cool, what's your favorite movie? And they go, Reservoir Dogs. That
Yeah.
says something about that person.
Yeah, it says that they're a college freshman for one thing.
I mean, Reservoir Dogs is pretty good.
It is good,
Yeah, but
you,
it's also
you would never
like-
say it's your favorite though. It's not the first movie that you would say is your favorite movie.
No, it's not even my favorite Tarantino movie.
There you go. I'm not saying it's bad.
Joe Rogan is kind of like the Tarantino
Tarantino.
of podcasts, I guess.
I think
but
it's Tarantino. Tarantino.
excuse
Joe
me.
Rogan, and he very much he's like
Speaking of people who just
he's
want to say
like
the
Ben
N-word,
Shapiro, where like he
That's Tarantino.
talks, except he doesn't talk quickly, but like he says a lot of things that kind of sound smart to people who
Oh yeah.
aren't very smart. He actually is like a thoughtful person, I think. Like he
knows
not,
more than most people, which is unfortunate.
yeah, but I think he like the clips
He's a
I've
smart
seen of
kid
him,
too, which
it
makes him more dangerous.
It seems like he's pretty. It seems like he's actually pretty considerate as far as like, this was my opinion, but now I'm willing to change it based on this new information or whatever. I don't know how widespread that behavior is, but I've seen that, and so I think he is like, I can see why he would appeal to a lot of people, but then the majority of the clips that you see of him are just him being a dude bro, you know. And I
Yeah.
say this as somebody who has watched basically every UFC pay-per-view for the last 2 years. Like if I'm not his target audience, I don't know who is.
I've
But you're
honestly
not,
never
though.
listened to him.
No, I've never actually listened to his podcast. I see, you see the clips on TikTok or whatever.
Yes, that's yeah.
I mean, it's
So-
kind of like Corolla, I guess. I wonder if Corolla has more. I wonder who actually has the biggest podcast right now. Because I bet Conan. I don't know.
Conan's probably pretty big.
Rogan's been a podcaster for so long that he has like a huge, following
Well,
that's
still
built
going?
up. where Conan just like dipped his toe into what's that?
Is Marin still going?
Yeah, Marin might be bigger, or like
Gosh, that's
I was
wild.
thinking
I haven't even
Carolla,
thought about Marin in a long
like
time.
Adam Carolla. His podcast was huge.
It was.
Yeah.
It was the three of them that were like for a while.
Yeah,
they were all,
like
all
the
in the top 10.
Godfathers of podcasting or whatever.
Yeah. I
That
used to
weekend
love
long.
listening to Adam Carolla back in the Loveline days.
Yeah, my
yeah.
dad likes that podcast, and he's told me about it, and I need to listen to it. But
But
because
see, I
like
don't-
who's the guy? It's not Dr. Phil, but
Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew.
Dr. Drew. They're like pretty different, right? And they kind of play off each other well.
Wait,
Like
are
Dr.
they
Drew's
still
very-
doing that podcast? I mean, not
They-
podcast.
They still do a podcast together, I think.
Do they?
It's not called Loveline, but they do a podcast together, I think.
I know
Wow,
Drew
'cause-
did Loveline for a while by himself.
I thought he had like guests after a while. Like it was like
Oh yeah, he would have.
One
yeah,
off.
that's what Adam Carolla did for a while, and it was like in his garage or whatever.
Oh, you're
it was
right.
the two of them together that were
what's-
so
I
fun.
think-
There's
I
the
think
Adam and
Dax-
Dr. Drew show.
There you go.
What
I
is it?
think Dax Shepard's
a
podcast is
podcast?
pretty enormous too.
Yeah, it's a podcast.
I really
Everything's
like
a
Dax
podcast
Shepard.
nowadays, Phil. It's all podcasts nowadays.
Mhm.
It is.
Yeah, dude. Like,
It is a little bit annoying. Like I was excited when Conan started a podcast, but it reminds me of TikTok when you see like a famous person on TikTok and you want to be like,
yeah,
you don't belong here. Like get out of here. This is for people who aren't already famous to like
yeah,
get some
yeah.
small piece of fame, you know. It's the same with podcasting. Like all these people who'd worked on their podcast for years and years, and then Conan comes in and immediately has like 10 times the following that they do.
I know we've talked about them before, but it does remind me of the Office Ladies because like
Oh, totally.
Yes.
it's an okay podcast, but they're
No.
like, oh, we're the #1 podcast.
Exactly.
Yeah,
it's like,
because you're
well,
talking
that's
about
because
the Office, and people love that show.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But it's like
Yeah.
in reality, but I wonder, I'm sure their listeners dropped off a lot after the first few episodes because they just do the same stuff over and over, and neither of them are that interesting. And then freaking Kevin goes and does, or is his name John?
His name is
Something Baumgartner
Brian.
or something. Brian, yeah.
Hi,
And
I'm Kevin. How was that?
it's pretty good.
yeah,
I
Office
was
Ladies
only
is the
gonna bang
perfect.
Holly.
It's the perfect example of that. They're basically like they're just taking fame that already exists and capitalizing on it. And
Yeah,
I think it's because like people started to realize like, oh, you can actually make money off of podcasts if you have enough listeners.
yeah.
Yes.
We got to get on Earwolf, dude. That's
Like, yeah, dude.
that's it. That's our only like barrier at this point.
Or Stitcher. We gotta separate ourselves from this whole guitar thing. That's what we gotta do.
It's bogging us down.
It's freaking holding us back.
Yeah, what we need to do is just be
Yeah.
clearly a podcast of three middle-aged guys talking about
Exactly.
90s pop
There's-
culture.
Because that's where I feel like we could really
That's where we
really
can really
we
differentiate.
could really find our
ourselves.
niche. Maybe we could talk about like bad movies or something.
I'm telling you, hey, we're all fathers. 3 fathers broing down about
That's
Fathering.
that's like uncharted territory too. There's no way that there are 3 white men in their 30s or 50s, 30s to 50s, that all have children that are doing a
dadding
podcast.
down. Just dadding down. It's Cole, it'll just be you and me
Downton
giving
Daddy. How about we'll call it Downton Daddy?
it'll just be you and me telling Aaron like, okay, no, don't buy that stroller. Buy this stroller.
Yeah.
Dad's what I'm talking about.
It's terrible.
Oh, Aaron. Hey,
Oh,
viewers,
now Dad's what I call podcast. Ooh,
now, dads, what I call pad. See, viewer, I want you to know that Aaron and I don't agree on many things, but I will say this: he is insanely gifted when it comes
Yeah.
to names
should be like-
and puns.
I think you
And
genuinely
pun
would be a
names.
good comedy writer for like a show or something, like a TV show or
Yeah,
something.
probably could be if I like ever trained.
Like a Harris Whittles.
Like if I knew like how to do it.
Yeah,
Trained?
totally. Because obviously there's like a
'Cause,
process.
yeah, like right now I would just be like the guy in there like
throwing out random puns or whatever.
Interrupting
yeah, but
people.
Can you write a story, please? Yeah.
No,
Just write a
the
script.
training
You know,
that you need
can I-
is practicing not interrupting people.
All right, let me
That's the
tell you
training you
one of
need.
my pet peeves. This is a pet peeve, a podcast pet peeve. People make podcasts,
Podcast pet peeve.
right?
People make
So
podcasts.
why is a podcast called a podcast?
Because it was on an iPod.
Because
and it's like a
of the-
broadcast.
iPod.
iPod broadcast.
Yes, exactly. So it's an iPod podcast.
Yeah.
But when people
Okay.
shorten podcast, they call it a pod.
Yeah, it should be called
That
the
is-
cast.
Like, oh, we were on
Yes.
the pod. They should say on the cast.
Yeah. Well,
The
and do you
pod
know where?
is no more.
Yeah, because you wouldn't
broadcast
say
came
like, "Hey,
from?
did you hear us on that broad the other night?" I mean, you might, but not if you were talking about a broadcast.
Hey, oh, do you know what? But do you know where the word broadcast came from?
No.
Because you're
It's a
casting a
freaking-
broad net.
It's like a farming term for like throwing
Like a sprinkler.
seeds, like
yeah.
instead of just going like the broadcast. And so like the word was already
like
like
dissemination.
completely out, completely like what's the word?
Ubiquitous.
It was like archaic.
Well, not really functional for the the
Oh,
purpose.
Yeah, like it kind of
Yeah.
was defunct.
The second,
It was you know,
Yeah, it
you know
wa-
what
like
just occurred
for-
to me?
it-
Defunct means like defunctional. Is that what that means?
I don't know.
maybe
Because it's FUNCT, right?
is it
FUNCT.
like
by the way, Phil.
debauchery though?
Yeah,
No,
what's-
FU
Dude,
and
They
CT.
they refunked the word broadcast. They refunked it.
Ooh. Ooh, just like just like scary pockets. They refunked it.
Heck yeah, dude.
No, it's from the Latin defunctus, which just
Town
means
refunked you up. Which means what?
dead.
Dead. So function isn't related to that in any way.
No,
I wonder if a fungus is related to that.
maybe because it's from the Latin "d."
Why did you have to look that
And
up, Aaron? Because
fungi.
I was like, what harm was there in me thinking that I had just figured something out at the age of 37?
Cole,
I figured out a new
here's
thing
why.
about a word.
No, here's why.
Is that going to harm
Because
anyone?
The fans were going to destroy you in the
No,
Facebook
they
group.
weren't. They just want me to be happy, Phil.
They want to say mean things when
Yeah,
they can.
that's totally not
That's
true.
literally the last thing they want.
That is the last thing they want.
They
want me
don't want you to be
entertaining,
happy.
which I'm
Yes.
not.
Yeah, they
when I'm
work
happy.
hard to make sure.
They want you
that
to
doesn't
dance for
happen.
them.
Okay, so I have a real topic to talk about, though. A serious topic.
Oh, I do too.
I
Oh,
think I've
serious.
totally done a full 180, full 360 on being an internet pedant, like a total pedantic
Oh.
jerk who like
Uh-huh.
corrects people's grammar. Because
What?
part of it is it's basically like, because the excuse you always use is like, well, I don't want you to embarrass yourself later, and it's like, well, you just embarrassed me. Did we already have this conversation?
No, I don't think so. This is good though.
It's like, well, so you chose to embarrass me now. Like, who's to say I ever would have
Yeah.
been? And also, like, you correcting me once isn't going to make me not do that typo anymore, you know? And it really does come from a place of like wanting to display that you're smarter than that person, you know? There's like no
does.
altruistic like end to correcting someone's grammar.
Yeah,
If you're doing
well-
it to just like, because once in a while, if you're doing it to just like crap on somebody, like that's fine. I support that. I know that it's not healthy or productive in society, but like if that's what you want to do on the internet, then more power to you. But if you're doing it like actually there's an apostrophe in your, it's like, yeah, but okay, like, you know, either it was just a typo, or I don't know that now, and it's not going to make a huge difference in my life if I don't, you know.
I want.
What do you guys think about that?
Well, okay. I
You
mean,
feel like
sure.
I have to make amends? First of all, is this like on my 12-step process? Do I have to go back and make amends to all the people whose grammar I corrected needlessly?
Yeah,
Because that'll take a long time.
you should broadcast it.
have to say
We're waving
hi
to Kathy.
every single week. I want you guys to know.
Okay.
Hi.
Hi.
I've always dreamed of being on this podcast, if only for just 1 second.
It's all right. I can edit that out.
Yeah, we'll edit that out because that was bullcrap.
Aaron said it. That's all right. I can edit that out.
It is. I love the dynamic of the fact that like your wife is a faithful listener of this podcast, and mine and Aaron's wives could not care less about it and have
Yeah,
never once-
For the viewer at home, Aaron's wife has been wandering around in the back like constantly while he's recording and has
just
chosen
living
to
her
say
life.
nothing. Like ignore the fact that he is talking into a microphone completely. But
She's just
As is
going
my
about her
wife-
business.
my wife opens the door and runs in here because she just got home and she knows that if I'm in here and the door is closed, it's because I am talking into a microphone to
She's hoping.
Yeah.
these two knuckleheads.
It's pretty great.
She's hoping that's what's happening.
Where?
Okay, so
What?
being
Yes, making
correcting
amends.
people's grammar. Is
You
that-
have to make amends, and it should be a broadcast, a pod broadcast,
a pod broad. A
I
broad
don't think
pod.
you need to
a
make
broad
amends at all.
podcast now, right
personally.
now. Cole, this is your chance.
I apologize to everyone whose grammar I've corrected over the years. I still may find, okay, so here's another follow-up aspect to that. How often do you find yourself using improper grammar just because you know that you'll sound like a douche if you use, like if you say whom, you're like, I'm just
Yeah,
going to say
yeah.
who, cuz like, or the one I've been noticing lately, it's like do you want to, like if you're saying, oh, he's bigger than me, like it's actually he's bigger than I. You kind of sound like,
No, it is. He's bigger than me.
The overcorrection is the I.
Yeah.
no, because
He's
he's
bigger
bigger
than-
than I am.
That is correct. He is bigger than I am, or he is bigger than me.
Yes.
Either of those are
Interesting.
correct.
I'll
See, I
tell
don't
you
believe
this.
You, first of all,
I'll tell you this, Cole.
Because
When-
me is an object.
I've always said, I don't say I'm doing well. I say I'm doing good. And
Me too.
and I was corrected by one of my master teachers,
But-
and
but
she
that's
said,
not
she said,
even-
how are you doing? And she goes, and I said, I'm good. And she goes, you can't say that anymore. You're an English teacher now. You have to say I'm doing well.
no,
and then
that's like
no,
old
hang on,
school.
hang on,
That's
hang
like-
on. So then a few months later, somebody asked me, and I hear the voice in my head. Somebody goes, how you doing? And I hear the voice in my head, and I go, I'm doing well. And they were like, okay, English teacher. And I was like,
But
okay,
but
that's
like
it. I'm
an
not doing this
improper-
anymore.
First of all, that's like when somebody says like, "Oh, you're actually supposed to do two spaces after a period." It's like, first of all, no,
Yeah.
you're not. That was like 100 years ago.
That's
You
for
did that.
typewriters.
That's
You're
freaking
not
typewriters.
typing on typewriter.
But second of all, like doing well, I understand that that's like the widely accepted phrase, but that's not even proper grammar because you're not doing well. You are well. You're doing.
I am
You're
well.
not doing anything. Like doing well would be like I'm doing something and I'm doing it well. You know.
Yeah, you can do something well, but you can't just do well.
Yeah, you can't do well unless you're talking.
can
Unless
be
you're like
well.
digging a well, and they're
Another-
like, "What are you doing?" And
That's
you're like,
really
"I'm
you should
doing
say-
well."
Really, you should say, I'm being well.
Yeah.
How
I
are
I'm
you?
good.
Or I am well.
I am being well.
No, but even that, like, okay, because well is like a state of being.
Yes.
But there's nothing wrong with saying
I am healthy.
I'm good.
Yeah,
Like,
because
I'm healthy.
That
well
food.
literally just means not ill. It doesn't mean like
Yeah, like
that things
Yes.
are going.
there's nothing wrong with
good.
saying I'm good. You could say that.
Yeah.
That's
No,
good.
there is, because it's
There
a
isn't though.
no. It's like it's Superman. Superman goes out and does good, right?
You can do.
Yeah,
good,
but that's. I mean,
you
it's
can't
just
be
like you could
good.
say, "Oh, you're not digging a well, so you're not doing well." Like
Hmm.
there's
I think
different
it's- I
words
think
for
it's
different meanings for
because-
the same word.
I think it's because good is like it's not a state. It's not a transient state of being.
Mm-hmm.
Like you can't just currently be
definitely
good. You either
right,
are
right.
good or you're not good. Is that why?
Yes,
Okay.
maybe.
So the question is like, how are you doing? That it's implied like, how are you doing right now?
Right.
That's right.
I don't. Yeah.
I have decided recently though that if somebody phrases something like, "Hey, can I ask you?" Like, "Oh, can I ask you why you're doing that?" I'm just gonna say yes.
I do that to my wife all the time.
And then when they ask me, I'm gonna say, "I don't want to talk about it."
That is.
I was watching this show, and they were like, it was one of those British panel shows, and they were just like going. They had introduced all the comedians, and they were just going through. So like the introduction. So what's new with you? And the guy's just like, you know what? Frankly, that's none of your damn business. And they just like moved on.
That's funny.
It looks like there's actual debate about if it's better than I or better than me. But because of that, I always either say better than I am or better than me. Because better than I, even if it's proper, sounds...
It's not proper, though. You're right to say I am.
But I think
or
it's
me.
debatable whether it's proper, because apparently then it can be either classified as a conjunction or a something else.
No, but the thing is not about then. It's about I and me, because I is a subject and me is an object. So things
Probably right.
can't be compared to a things can't happen to a subject.
Cool.
But it's
Cool.
not...
He has a master's degree in words. All right.
Because
I mean,
it would be the
that's
same
not
as
true.
like saying like you are next to I. He's standing next to I.
See, I get what you're saying, but I don't know that I agree with it. But my point, but it doesn't change my point,
No, it's true.
is that there are times where whom is a better example, because there are like very obvious instances where whom is more proper than who,
Mm-hmm.
but you still kind of sound like a douche when you say whom. Like you're going with whom? Because that would be right?
You're going with whom?
I mean, that's a weird question to ask. I'm trying to think of like a better sentence that would end in whom. But like, you pretty much always sound like a douche when you're saying whom, right?
yeah.
Like when you're ending
Yeah.
a sentence with it or whatever.
No, anytime you use the word, anytime you use the word whom,
Pretty much, yeah. Like I can't.
you sound like a douche because,
Yeah.
like, most people say who.
Yeah.
It's the
And
kind of
that's
thing
just
that, like,
English. Like part of what's annoying is a lot of this pedantic stuff is based on the concept that English can't change, and that's all
Absolutely.
it's been doing in the history of language has been
Yes.
changing. So even
yes.
things like I used to always say none of us is, because
Yeah,
none
which is
a-
correct. Yeah.
apparently a conjunction of not one. So you're saying not one of us is, but even that over time, apparently that isn't even necessarily the case anymore.
apparently,
Well,
it's-
none of
yeah,
us are.
because none is also like zero, and the number zero is not R.
Yeah,
It's not plural.
yeah. So it's like,
so the
Yeah.
concept of
well,
like
or even
contractions,
just the idea that none of us are, because it's like you're referring to a plural. Like if you're saying none of us are ordering drinks, you're talking about 8 people. So it's like, if none, depends on what the meaning of the word none, I guess. You know, it's like the Bill Clinton.
It's because none is singular, but if it's
but
none
depending
of
on
us,
how you consider the word,
ooh, none of
it could be plural if it's referring to, like, depending on, you
None
know,
of
it's
them.
basically just, does none really still mean not one, even though that's what it meant 1,000 years ago or whatever, you know?
well,
I know
it,
wasn't
it just
1,000
means
years ago.
zero. I think like how many are ordering zero? 0 out of 10, but 0 doesn't change. no
Yeah,
matter
so
how
0 people
the other
are
number-
ordering is what you would say.
No, you would say
So-
0 of us is ordering.
You idiot.
Okay, I'd like to point out
0 of us
is-
is getting drinks.
this is
0
this
of
is the
us
most
will be
this is
having
the
a
most-
drink.
this is the most up our butt episode I think we've ever
But-
done.
But no, because we're doing
pretty sure
the
I'm wrong
context
about
of it
all
is
this,
that we're talking about not being up our butts. Okay,
Yeah,
so I guess maybe it's like not self-aware in the fact that we're just doing exactly what we said we shouldn't do.
I'm pretty
But I guess the
confident.
point of this is like we all know how we talk.
yeah, how
And
we
if
speak.
somebody if somebody can convey the meaning that they want to convey, or like fewer, like, you know how you want to correct people, and that's one that I always get wrong. I always say like, oh, I have less apples than you, and like whatever.
I've stopped caring about that.
But you know,
last,
but like the
6
person,
months.
you know what the person means. So it's like that's the purpose of language, is to convey meaning.
Exactly.
And if you 100% know the meaning, there's no ambiguity, there's no question, then like it's fine. That's good enough.
You're just being a jerk.
Yeah, basically. So I'm not saying I'm going to be able to quit cold turkey, because that's a hard thing to do, but I'm trying to. So bear with me and be patient, you know.
I like to think about language as being
Thanks, Phil.
subtractive in nature.
Yeah.
Yes.
Not this discussion. We
No.
definitely could have subtracted more from that discussion.
I actually do tell my students that like the goal of language is like limit meaning.
Yeah. Oh. Say that again.
So for example, if you say like ball, or let's say house, like you say house, this is the example I always use. Like, think about a house. All right, so if I say house, it could be literally any house.
It's made out of dirt. It has a pool in the basement.
But then if I say White House, now it eliminates anything that's not white. So it limits house to only mean houses that are white. So this is how like modifiers work. They limit the meaning of the subject. But then
So
if I
are you
add
saying
an article and I say like the White House, that's more limiting than a White House. But the goal is to limit the possible meaning of language, and that's how you convey understanding.
so is part of that also to point out that like if you're adding modifiers that aren't actually limiting, then they're useless? Or not
Exactly,
really?
yeah. So that's like a side effect or a side.
Then
kind of
it's like
lesson.
you're just using flowery language, or you're just trying to hit like a word limit or something like that.
Yeah, so like if something's big versus very big, there's no significant difference, or like no actual difference between the two.
I like that. Okay, so here's like maybe too personal of a question. You haven't been teaching lately, have you?
I actually have been teaching an online course since.
Oh, that's right.
For like a little
No,
over
I
a
have
month.
not. I show up. I've been phoning
Barely
it in
showing up to this
for the last
podcast
11
right
months.
now. Yeah, you've been phoning this in too.
Which teaching an online class is really weird.
Freaking
'cause
dorking around on your phone.
It's not even like Zoom class. It's literally just
Sorry.
like I post stuff and they respond to it. It's super weird.
Okay.
Feels kind of like a sham. I'm like, what
Phil is
what
kinda
part of
like a
this?
sham.
It's not
What
a
part of
sham.
this could they not do on their own? You know,
That's
They
all
couldn't
teaching.
assign
I
their own
guess I'm
reading.
just like, I mean, they could. That's
I love
basically
this
it. Like I'm a
trend.
curator at
Okay,
this
but not
point
the
of,
good
like,
stuff.
I'm the curator of.
Yeah. I love this trend lately of like all these TikToks about like, oh, the teacher says you can't plagiarize. Where'd you get that lesson plan, teacher? Like what website did you download that lesson plan from? It's like that's all they do.
But it's not.
It is,
plagiarism if
Phil.
You cite
It's
it.
true because it was
You
on
just cite it.
TikTok.
You just cite it. You use your citations.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Creative Commons.
Here's the difference. If a kid say, "Wow, that was an amazing lesson. Did you make this up?" I go, "Hell no." But the kid, when I say,
the kid, like their job is to
This
make up a
doesn't
lesson,
sound like you.
a paper.
you know what they do?
Your job isn't to make up a lesson; it's just to teach it.
Yeah, you know what they say? Yeah.
Oh, that's me.
Hey, this doesn't sound like you.
You don't even know me.
They go,
Mr.
no.
Eisenhower.
I wrote it. I wrote it. Oh, really? Well,
The weird.
that's weird because when I Googled your first paragraph, when I copied and pasted your first paragraph into Google, I found it word for word on this website
On this
from
paper buying site.
University of Arizona.
That is my
Something,
absolute
something.
favorite thing to do is just
Oh.
Google portions of people's papers and like find them.
That's like a weird. See, we grew up like maybe it's like maybe I was just naive or something, or maybe I was scared of getting in trouble enough. But like, that's one of those. Why do kids put so much effort? And maybe the ones that are getting caught, it's because they aren't putting enough effort into plagiarizing. But like,
Yeah.
it's not that hard to write a paper. Just like write the paper, especially like some of the papers you show us that obviously aren't plagiarized are just like total garbage. and they're
Yeah.
still getting like a
Yeah.
decent grade, right? They're
Yeah,
like,
you
it's
get
like
a
they're written by
percent.
a
You
freaking,
fail, but you get like half credit at least.
Yeah, like just put something on paper. Like you can talk, just like write down the words, you know?
Dude, I've had
Yeah, exactly.
papers turned in where like the font just changes halfway through a paragraph. Like they copied and pasted it and didn't even like
Yeah.
bother to make the font match.
Yeah. Just paste without formatting, you idiots.
Here,
All you
here's
gotta
the
do
other
is
thing that
just
really, really
Just
bugs
control
me.
all at the end and make sure it all matches.
Yeah.
Here's the thing that's
Okay,
been
what
bugging
bugs
me
you?
lately about plagiarism. For some reason, I'm hearing more and more people say, "Yeah, it's just that they don't even understand that it's plagiarism." And I'm like,
Oh, they do.
That's bull
What?
crap.
"No,
Yeah, they do.
what are you? No, they do.
Like,
Maybe they don't know
it is the most
that the word plagiarism means to steal,
Right.
but they know that
Yeah,
they're
but they
taking
know
somebody
they're
else's
copying.
writing, they're pretending it's theirs,
Yes.
and they're turning it in and saying, "This is my writing." They know that. They don't.
Yeah,
like
that
it's
couldn't-
complete garbage to say,
that couldn't be
Ugh.
further from the truth.
"Oh, they just don't know what that means." Oh, really? Really? They don't know.
It's like if they don't know what the word plagiarism means, they know that they're cheating.
Sure.
They
Yeah,
still know
I
they're
don't care what
cheating,
you call
no
it.
matter what.
Yeah, it's like
They-
if I
Yeah.
go around punching people and then they're like, he doesn't even know what a pugilist is. Like it's how can he be blamed for what he's doing?
Yeah, he can't be.
He doesn't know what
Blamed for that.
pugilism even is.
He doesn't even understand the difference between assault and battery.
Yeah, he doesn't know the
Like, how can-
difference.
He doesn't know.
Oh my gosh, it makes me so it makes me more angry than like the plagiarism itself. For some
Yeah,
reason,
because
like
it's like if you get like you would probably have a lot of respect for somebody if you caught him plagiarizing and they're like, you got me.
yeah, yes.
My bad.
I've had that.
You'd be
Sorry.
like, okay, you get half credit.
Well, and we just busted a kid. We had midterms just last week, and we busted a kid right at the last second. He turned in an essay late, and it was plagiarized. And the teacher I teach with commented on it. Hey, this is plagiarized. Here is the section of the internet that I found this whole section of your paper from.
Mhm.
Please resubmit with your
Kill
own words. And
Yeah.
like 2 hours later, the kid resubmits, and half of the section that the other teacher told him was plagiarized,
Still
half of
there.
it was removed, and the other half was still there. And then when Joe copied and pasted that new part into Google, he found it from another website.
Yeah.
And here, like, okay, so how long was that paper?
It was 3 paragraphs.
You could write that in 10 minutes.
Sorry, 5. It was
Just-
5 paragraphs.
Just start typing
Yes.
anything,
That's
any
what I'm
garbage.
saying. Like, yeah, you just
Like that thing you copied and
build a
pasted.
page.
Like, go read that and just pretend like you're explaining it to somebody,
Yeah.
and that's your paper. Like, it's so easy. It's like when my kids take 4 hours to clean their room, and it's like if I went in there, I could clean it in 5 minutes. I bet you. But they just like, but I'd rather, they're constantly trying to come up with other crap to do, and it's bonkers.
Yeah, dude.
Especially because like maybe they don't like, I think maybe that's an important thing to teach them, is to teach them that, like, everybody at this age is awful. You all suck butt at
Dude,
writing.
Cole, I just had a
You
great
all-
idea, by the way.
What?
Your son needs to get a job writing those like family friendly movie reviews. You just like keep track of how many like S words and F words.
Yes.
And then like
3 GDs.
No, but it would like ruin him, like those cops that have to find
Oh, yeah.
child porn,
It would
He'd be like,
totally
I
corrupt
can't-
him.
I can't
It's
stop
true.
hearing the S word in my head. She made me watch all those PG-13 movies. Okay, but honestly, I think that's an important thing to understand in society in general, that like we all kind of suck at things. We all procrastinate. We all,
yeah.
we're all just kind of faking it. Like if
Yeah,
they
but like you
understood,
said, like-
hey, you all of your papers suck. I would love to get a whole bunch of papers that just suck, and I know that you wrote them.
Yeah, but
And, like,
here's the thing, and we try to say this to the kids, like, listen, turn in a C- paper, and I
Yeah.
will tell you, here are the things to change and make it better.
Turn
And
it
you
back
will
in.
grow and get better and
Yeah.
get a better grade and all that stuff. But like, I don't think it's about that. I don't think it's about like perfectionism or nothingness. I think it's like, I've been doing other things. Oh crap. It's due like right now. Oh crap. Google. I think that's
Yeah,
what
but
it
like
is.
that still takes some time, doesn't it? Like it to even plagiarize.
Yeah.
I mean, it takes some time to find stuff.
Yeah.
Like
I
it's
mean,
not like the subject matter is so generic that it's like
I don't
oh,
know.
I need a paper about the cotton gin or something.
And I'm only busting the kids that are like where it's like obvious, like that it could be all of them are cheating. I have no idea. I bust. There's like 2 kids per class every writing assignment
that get busted for cheating.
that I'm like, this is not this kid's writing. And then I Google sections and I find it on the internet very easily.
The fact that everyone you think is plagiarizing that makes me think so many more of them are plagiarizing.
Yeah,
That's what I'm
for
saying.
sure.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. That's
They're just,
bonkers.
but I would now, and this is not popular opinion for a high school English teacher. If a 14-year-old kid can plagiarize and completely like blow right past me, they're
Yeah,
going
like,
places.
that's on you. Yeah, because that's real life.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
It's the same argument with like having closed book tests or like you can't use your calculator on this math test. Like I get they're trying to teach you the concept, but like there's never going to be a situation in your life that is closed book. Like if somebody hires you, hires you as a consultant, you're like, okay, I promise I won't use the internet. And they're like, what are you talking about? Use every resource you can.
Yeah, dude, I was talking to this girl the other day who's taking an online class, and she said when they do a test, like they have to be on Zoom doing the test,
Yeah,
and then they have to have their phone also on Zoom.
like visible. Yeah,
Like,
and they have to be
pointing
sharing
at-
their.
No, they have to.
Yeah.
So they're on their laptop, so they're on the screen, but then they're also logged in on their phone, like pointed at the test.
Yeah, so they can't have other windows up. I saw
Yeah.
this guy who had like rigged up all these crazy cheat sheets right on the side of his monitor and stuff, and it's like,
Yes.
if you'd used all that effort to just study for that test, like not only would you have done fine, but like you'd also feel better about yourself, you know?
Yeah, it wouldn't have been as fun though.
Yeah, I know. Pulling a fast one on a teacher with that kind of a setup it's like
it is, and like there's a good
Ocean's
chance they
11.
were just there's a good chance they were just doing it to be funny, like for the meme or whatever.
yeah.
Which I respect that.
Yeah. I had a kid. Okay, so back at the this was last spring in the beginning of the pandemic. One of my students was telling me that he had that for his Spanish class that they were taking once a week quizzes, and the Spanish teacher was forcing everyone to sign up for a time to show up and take the quiz, because the teacher could only do 9, was only willing to do 9 at a time, so he could see you on a screen with 9,
on Zoom,
and
3x3.
yeah, on Zoom 3x3, and he's also using a software where like you can monitor what they're actually writing and typing. So he's got them on Zoom, and the teacher probably has another monitor where he's monitoring what they're actually typing or writing. And this kid was telling me about how like stressful it is to take these tests like this. And he goes, so I'm taking this test and I did this, like, think about this. He goes, think about how many times where you're taking a test and you're hunched over and you just want to stretch for a second. And so he was like, he goes, I was sitting there and I was hunched over and I just like, I had like a, like tight in my neck.
Like your neck was
and
all
so I
tight.
went like this. And the second he went like this, he heard the voice of the teacher go, eyes on your screen, please. And he was like, what? Because the teacher,
they think he's like looking at a poster on the wall. And it's a freaking Spanish test. Like, what do you have, an entire Spanish dictionary on your wall? Like, what are you talking about?
It's like, let me just, like, what would be happening? Like, what? Oh, And now think about this. My first thought was that sounds exhausting as a teacher to
Yeah.
believe that you have to do that, you know?
And at that point, like, what are you even testing? Like, it's like you're
Yes.
testing their ability to withstand torture, not their Spanish ability.
know.
It's like the Spanish Inquisition.
High school
Exactly. Dude, that's actually
high school Spanish.
Dang it,
The
Aaron.
high school
High
Spanish
school.
Inquisition.
High school Spanish Inquisition. High school Spanish 1 Inquisition.
Yeah, Spanish
non-native
101
speakers.
Inquisition.
Did you guys have that growing up? We always had Spanish
AP,
and then Spanish
AP
for
Spanish
native
Inquisition.
speakers.
no. We didn't have native Spanish speakers where I lived, Aaron.
In New Mexico?
He was but a
Not in
child.
the classes I was in.
Oh. He was a butt child.
I think
I mean, I,
I
only
think we're
lived in
at
New Mexico until I was 9.
Here's what I want to say before we go.
okay.
I want to get a Fernandez Vertigo guitar.
Send us
I
a
don't
link.
know
cool.
what that is.
Is that the one, the wood with the turquoise?
Let me show you one.
Is
No,
that like a,
that's a PRS.
Fernando Valenzuela? Is that like Fernando Valenzuela? Because I want
No,
one of
it's
those.
just like so Fernandez. I want to say they
I know
were.
Fernandez guitars.
Yeah, it's like a Japanese company, but this
Fernandez, classic Japanese name.
one. Well, for some reason, all the Japanese companies had like Spanish names. Like Ibanez too is like very Spanish.
Yeah.
Japanese
It's true.
company.
Oh, but it's
Um,
also spelled Fernandes.
DES, yeah. Like Spanish. It's
Yeah.
not Mexican. It's Spanish, but it's
Yeah.
like it's like this weird like offset kind of design that they had. But I want one that's like cool.
Professional
know.
wordsmith. Aaron Abubo.
It's
I
like-
want one. I want one that's cool.
Okay, for the record,
I support that
I don't
decision,
like it.
Aaron, for what it's worth.
that's not a good example of one.
well, then why did you send it to us, Aaron?
Oh, you sent it?
Because I was going to say I like the shape of that pick guard a little bit more than some of the others.
I do too. I really like that pick guard, actually. It looks like a circle was overlaid on a part of the guitar.
Yeah, it's like
Or
a
like an
circle
ellipse, kind
takes
of.
the square. This is great podcasting, by the way.
Okay, go look up Fernandez Vertigo guitar.
So here's why. I remember
Were they-
when I was in high school, I had two different catalogs of guitars. One was Fernandez and one was ESP. And I don't know how I got these guitar catalogs, but I really wanted
I love
I really wanted a Fernandez Vertigo, and I wanted the stupid the ESP Kamikaze, the George Lynch model.
what's
You
the
know that one?
kamikaze though? What does it look like?
It's basically like a super strat, but it
Okay.
had like this like red, black, and yellow camouflage pattern on it with like a picture of
Okay.
a kamikaze pilot and like some bombs and stuff.
I love the mental image of you like thumbing through an ESP catalog, and then your mom walks in, you hurry and like shove it under your mattress, you know.
Is that what happened?
No, I
Aaron?
promise. I
It's
like
so wild. Like I don't
like
know why.
tellies. I like
that
tellies and
guitar.
strats.
Yeah. The
That's hilarious.
kamikaze. It's cool. It's a cool guitar.
I would love to see one, Aaron.
Do you?
I
wanna
would
see
love
one?
for you to send us.
ESP.
I would love for you
Oh,
to
dude.
send us a picture of a guitar that you
Actually,
want, so I
Yeah,
can
the
agree
George
or
Lynch.
disagree with
this
you.
This one that I found is like a single humbucker, and it's like this wild. It's kind of like a tiger stripe, like as if
Oh yeah,
as if
that
the
one I
tiger's
don't like.
back.
Check out this one. I'm
Yeah.
gonna send you one that is pretty cool.
There's one that's
It's a
like
red,
green,
white.
yellow,
It's
and
red,
orange.
white, and blue, but like sky blue.
Man, now you're speaking my language.
Like weird camouflage type thing, and then it's got a bunch of other stuff going on. It's freaking cool. I still
Oh,
want it.
dude, I love that color blue.
It's cool, right?
It's like a darker sky blue though.
Yeah, so there's like a bunch of different versions of that same style, but just different
Yeah,
like
dude. I wonder what
colors.
those Japanese characters mean.
means George Lynch.
Whoa,
Just kidding.
Phil, you're freaking us out here.
Sorry. Am I?
I don't
Can you
know
hear
what it
me?
means.
What if it just means like guitar or something? Oh, dude, it's kind of messed up though. It has like little people on it, right? Like on the
That's-
lower horn.
No, those are bombs.
Like,
Those are bombs.
okay,
bro.
so I was thinking that was like marks showing how many people they'd killed or something like that.
Oh. No, it's like bombs. Which
Still though, it's a little, you know.
Word to your moms. I came to drop bombs.
I want to know who the guy is that's
Exactly.
on it though, because I like that it has like an actual photograph on it. You don't see a lot of
Yeah.
cars
Bro,
with
what if
photographs
it's-
on them.
Wait a minute. What if it's like those are like famous like kamikaze
I'm
pilots?
assuming that
How
is like a
hardcore
guy,
would that be?
an actual like kamikaze guy.
Enter an ESP shop.
But
Are they all the
So
same
weird.
picture, or are they
it's the
different?
same
dudes?
guy on all of them, I think. Yeah,
Dude, I do
yeah,
love.
it's the same. The only difference is the colors.
You don't see enough guitars nowadays that just have a super light maple fretboard with no inlays on it. That was like the thing
Oh, yeah.
back then. Like neon colored body.
Are you looking at the green and
Ridiculous.
pink one?
Yeah, or like it's green and orange kind of. and
Yeah,
yellow.
yeah.
Like neon colors, crazy Floyd Rose.
Yeah.
It's got freaking black hardware and a maple fretboard. That's so weird. But it's like it's like super light maple, you know.
That's one of the things that I like so much about like the Charvel
Yeah.
Dink super mods and stuff, because they just
Yeah.
have like the what is it, the SoCal ones.
Yeah.
They all have like black hardware and super light maple fretboards.
It's like it's such a specific time, you know.
Yeah, I love them. Man, I still kick myself. Do you guys remember when there was that there was a guitar on my local Craigslist back in El Centro that was like a Jackson body with a Charvel neck, and it was like, oh, it was like so
Vaguely.
freaking cool. And I'm
Vaguely
sad I didn't
remember
buy
that.
it. It was on. They were selling it for like $300, and it was there forever. And then one time I finally had money, and I was like, I'm gonna buy it, and it was gone.
That's the
so bad.
saddest story ever told right there.
It really is. Well,
Okay. You
Till
know what
next
isn't
time.
sad?
see you in hell. Just kidding. Thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship.
Thanks for friendship.